Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights Solo Edition. I am JD Nero, aka He Who Pods, and today we got some interesting topics, and we diving right in, ladies and gentlemen. Dash is out, should be back soon. Let's get right into it. So, a week or so ago, I came up here solo and announced that the game and DJ Drama were hooking up. Well, folks, not only did they hook up, I wasn't sure when it was dropping. But what I found out was the shit came out soon after. And so the game and DJ Drama and Mike and Keys, which we'll get to in a minute, they dropped last Friday, which was, let's get a date for the YouTube crowd who's going to see this later on. Oh, yeah. They dropped on December 5th. That's right. The day after Jay-Z's birthday. Gangsta Grillz is called Gangsta Grillz. Every movie needs a trailer featuring the game, starring the game. Every track was the game, DJ Drama, Mike and Keys. And then there were some features. I think real quick, just on the feature tip, the features were good. I feel like they chose some really interesting people to collaborate with. And I thought they did a really good job of picking who to feature on what track. Like Latoya Williams was there, Haley Williams was there. So we got some interesting features, including what's the song with the dude? Hold on. Right after Left Out, Blood Tears features. Is it Mozzie? Mozzie, yeah. Mozzie did his thing too. And so it's mostly singers. I think Mozzie's the only rapper that's featured, and I was cool with that. You got Eric Bellinger, you got Jeremiah, and the ladies I mentioned already. Oh, is Lotto up here? I can't remember. Oh, no, that's Latoya Williams. Okay, all right. Yeah, Latoya Williams is featured on 2 tracks. She did her thing. So the game is one of my favorites. He does not disappoint when he puts out projects, and he did not disappoint with this one. This project was good. It was lengthy. It had a mixtape feel because it was also kind of all over the place in a good way. You got a little bit of this, then a little bit of that, then a little bit of this, then a little bit of that, then a little bit of this, and then a little bit of that. You got a little bit of everything up here. If you was looking for something to two-step to, you got it. If you was looking for something to sing along to, you got it. If you was looking for some gangster shit, you got it. The game came with it. And listen, let's get the review started. So when the track starts, when the project starts, first thing you hear is a song called Silver Lining. This is like an intro. I'm gonna be honest. I felt like I really, really was not digging this track when Game started rapping. I was really hype until then. But when Game started rapping, I'm just not a fan of the chopped and screwed thing. And also, some people are criticizing the mix on this project. I felt like the mix made sense. I feel like this is not the most polished mix, but it's a Gangsta Grillz mixtape. Like, this wasn't the Game's brand new polished mainstream album. This was a Gangsta Grillz mixtape. So I understand why some people are criticizing the mixing, but it didn't bother me. I'm not saying I don't see what they're saying, but it's a mixtape, right? And so for me, this gave me the old school mixtape feel. Mike and Keys did an amazing job producing this project. Man, so many great beats. Like, I don't think there's one beat up here that's not dope, and I don't say stuff like that often. Also, the sample flips, great fucking job on the sample flips. Now, Caviar X Cartier, that's when Game comes on and really gives it to you. For me, that's the real track one. So I've listened to it twice. When I listen to it the third time, which will be very soon because I like this project, I'll probably skip Silver Lining and just get straight into Caviar and Cartier. I see people are really excited about clown emojis. I get the concept. I don't really love it. One of the things I will say about this project that I struggled with was Game seems to be in this space where he want to let you know, hey, I'm an older guy, but I also know what the young people are saying. And I'm okay with that. I actually resonate with that because I'm an older guy who also knows what the young people are saying. But I feel like he was trying too hard to let us know that he knew the young lingo. He said YN more than anything else on this track, on this project, probably. And I don't need to hear Game saying YN 200 times. I'm exaggerating. I didn't count. But he says it a lot. And like the 6'7" thing was cute. But it's like, I mean, like it's the kids, right? And so it's like there's age brackets and lingo that goes with it. I feel like he wanted to let us know, hey man, I'm tapped in. And that's cool. So I really resonate with that, honestly, because I pick on my daughter all the time, like, hey, I know what y'all be saying, and I know what it means. And so I mess with my kid who's a teenager. So I totally get it. But I just feel like that was pushed a little too hard on this project. Um, that's probably my biggest criticism because it was something that you felt throughout the project, in my opinion. Like throughout the project, it kept feeling like Game want to let us know he hangs with younger people. And I didn't really understand why he kept doing that. It's like the way people criticize the name dropping, it was like that. Like it was way too much of it. I don't mind the name dropping, to be honest. I always thought that was just his style. But this new thing of like, I'm gonna complain about the stuff that y'all do, but also let you know I'm tapped in with the stuff y'all do. I feel like maybe in doses, right? Not so much throughout the project next time. That's really my biggest criticism because Game is rapping his ass off on this project like he always does. And Game is being controversial on this project like he always does. And I love it. I love it. Like on the song Left Out, I'm like, this is clearly you doing the chameleon thing and rapping like Kendrick. Is this a Kendrick diss? I don't think so. But I see how some people could interpret it that way. And I like that it's open to interpretation. Yes, he says in other songs that he rocks with Kendrick, but this was kind of like, hey man, I want to let y'all know that I could do this shit too. And I'm even gonna use Kendrick's like ad libs to entice y'all. And so I wonder how Kendrick feels about it, if Kendrick will say something. But it's really not a clear diss record, and it's controversial. Another song, which everyone was talking about, is the assassination of Candace Owens. Another controversial record, which is what Game does. And if you listen to the track, it's not so much about that. It is, but it's not, which is controversial, and it's a great way to do things. Game kills it. Oh yeah, Quarter Zips and Matcha is the name of a track. He's also letting you know, this is what I'm saying, right? It's like, I know what y'all are saying, and it's like it's cool, I guess, but eh, and the song is fire. Like the nigga's rapping his ass off. He's killing it. Like he's doing everything you want. Everything you want from Game, you get in this project. You get gangster rap. You get gang mentions and gang affiliated bars. You get the name drops. You get the controversial raps. You get great hooks and records. It's a great Game project. I don't want to be here all day because I really don't have a lot of bad things to say. Um, and even Left Out, which is controversial, I like Left Out. Assassination of Candace Owens, I like the way he did that. Living, at first I was like, oh, I don't know if this is how it would end the project with this kind of sample flip. But then as the song kept playing, I was like, actually, I'm gonna just shut the fuck up. This shit is hot. And so I think this is a good project. I just think that one, I'm curious about what's coming next because this project is called Every Movie Needs a Trailer. So is Game's next movie called next is Game's next project called a movie or the movie? That'll be interesting. So I'm curious about that. I'm curious, is he linking up again with DJ Drama because it is insinuated. He says let's run it back. Um, what else? Bum, 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 bum. Oh, Can I? Can I is really good too. I mean, listen, it's a Game project. If you like Game, you're gonna like this project. Um, America's Nightmare, always happy to see that kind of reference, Ice Cube type shit. And I'm curious to see what else Game and Mike and Keys will cook up, even if it's not the Gangsta Grillz part 2 with DJ Drama, whatever it is. I'm curious to see what it will be. And listen, DJ Drama, he did what DJ Drama does. Let me not exclude DJ Drama before I move on. DJ Drama went in there and gave y'all exactly what you're looking for. He gave you that shit talking. He gave you that feel of a Gangsta Grillz mixtape. He went in there and talked his shit and did the damn thing. And he even ran one record back, which I thought, like, okay, you're letting us know you really DJing. You know what I mean? He's on that shit. I could even have used a little more DJ Drama, to be honest. And I know sometimes it feels like it's too much. I think this was a good balance. But me personally, I take a little more, just a dash, you know, a dash of DJ Drama. I would have been cool with that. So yeah, I will say the only thing is, if you're gonna look at this as a non-mixtape, which you probably shouldn't, then you would probably criticize the sequencing, because I could see someone making a case for that. If you want to be nitpicky, or if you are looking at this as an album, even though it's not, it's a mixtape. Mixtapes had that feel, right? If you're a younger person who stumbled upon this, maybe you don't know mixtapes that well. Mixtapes kind of were all over the place. And this is part of what I liked about the project, right? Where it's like, you might get a gangster record and then like something for the ladies. And then after that, he might go to the old total other side and just rap completely West Coast shit. I like that, because when you listen to a mixtape, that's generally the feel. The feel is that this is kind of, it's going to take you on a journey. It's going to be a roller coaster. It's a mix of different things. And that's what you got here. But if people are going to view this as a game album, then I can understand if people criticize the sequencing, the track list, the order of this project. But I feel like that would be kind of nitpicky, because they did say mixtape. So I guess it depends. I guess it depends how you're looking at it. To me, they announced it as a mixtape. That's how I took it, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed feeling like I was listening to a mixtape, because some of the Gangsta Grillz mixtapes of recent, they do have more of a polished album feel. So for me, it was nice to go back to like the early 2000s when the game came out and mixtapes were the shit. It was very reminiscent of that time, and I truly enjoyed that. All right. Now, I don't have a fly segue, but we got more shit to talk about, and I know there's a lot of confusion surrounding this project, this next topic, excuse me. So, it was announced a few days ago that Warner Brothers Discovery was purchased by Netflix for crazy money. It was something like $84 billion. But a lot has changed since then. And so let me just pull up what has changed since then for y'all. A couple of different things have happened, and I know people are kind of like confused, and there's a lot of talk about what is and what isn't. And so I'm going to give you guys what I have found, and hopefully that is helpful to y'all, because there's a lot going on. So one of the first things that happened that I saw, right after, is the Trump administration came out and said some stuff. And so I know this is not political. I'm only giving y'all the timeline of what happened. And so this post is from Earn Your Leisure. It says the Trump administration has expressed heavy skepticism towards Netflix's proposed $72 billion acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery Films and streaming assets, a deal that would include the Warner Brothers Film Studio, HBO Max, and is subject to regulatory approval. The transaction has also drawn scrutiny from lawmakers who described it as a potential antitrust concern that could reduce consumer choice and increase subscription costs, of course. Paramount, Skydance, and Comcast had also submitted bids for the assets before Netflix secured the agreement, which is expected to close after Warner Brothers Discovery completes its planned spin-out of Discovery Global in the third quarter of 2026. A Securities and Exchange Commission filing shows Netflix agreed to pay $5.8 billion reverse breakup fee if the deal fails to obtain regulatory approval. So the Trump administration was not really digging it. And then some other stuff came out. Then people started talking about this hostile bid that Paramount launched. And they did launch a hostile bid. And so let's just follow up with that so I could kind of give y'all the timeline of what happened. And so this is from Variety. It says Paramount is launching a hostile takeover bid to buy Warner Brothers. Paramount Skydance has launched a $108 billion all cash hostile takeover bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, aiming to block Netflix's planned acquisition. Quote, Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders deserve an opportunity to consider our superior all cash offer. We believe the Warner Brothers Discovery Board of Directors is pursuing an inferior proposal. They ain't playing, baby. This big money shit. That's what they saying. They saying, y'all little niggas can't fuck with us. We got bigger bread and we gonna come for it. So that was a couple of days ago too now. Like 2 or 3 days ago. And so this is the latest thing I found. This comes from Deadline a couple of hours ago. It says here December 10th today, when I'm recording this. Yep, today. And it says this was 2:06 p.m. So just a couple of hours ago when I'm recording this. And so this is the latest thing I was able to find. It says here, Paramount continues to take its case to Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders after launching a hostile takeover to pry the company away from Netflix. Quote, Dear Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders, Paramount CEO David Ellison wrote in an open letter published today, quote, we are the best stewards not only to build long-term value for the asset, but also delight audiences and help cultivate a more vibrant creative community. We founded, and then merged Skydance with Paramount and know the sacrifices and investment it takes to capitalize and grow a media business. I am passionate and dedicated to this pursuit, committed to putting my own money in. And that is why I'm writing you today. And so there's more. You could go read it, but this is where they're at. Basically, at this point, they're offering $30 a share to the shareholders and to the board. That's basically what they're saying. Yeah. Yeah. And so they're just saying like, yo, we're willing to give you this much and help us out. That's the long story short. If you want more quotes and more details, that's it from that article is from Deadline. You could go read it. So I don't really have an opinion here. I see that a lot of people are complaining about this merger, which is interesting to me because where were those people when all these other media companies merged together? Yo no sé. I don't know. So that's I don't really have a take on it yet because we don't really know the details. Things are still pending. So this is more to inform y'all than really express an opinion. I do think it's interesting. I do think it's not a shock that this is happening because once I saw the Trump administration saying what they said, I said, oh yeah, because Ellison is their man and they want to make sure he get it. So this is not shocking to me, and we actually spoke about this before. If you go back on our YouTube channel, you can find when we spoke about Ellison, his ties to the government, his tie to the Trump administration, and how all of that is going on with the father and the son, etc., etc. So for me, it wasn't surprising, and I won't be surprised if that's where this ends up going because of the political connects, as Jay-Z once said. So that's really all I got for y'all. I just wanted to give y'all the latest update on what was going on with that because there seems to be a lot of things circulating, but not a lot of facts. So I tried my best to find the latest update for y'all and not just come up here and say, Netflix bought him. It's crazy. So that's the latest information I was able to find. And now I'm going to cover a topic that I think Dash is going to be mad that she wasn't here for. And, you know, Dash, that's your fault. You know what I'm saying? If you feel a way, it's on you. But Kim Kardashian is a person I don't normally talk about. But Kim Kardashian will be discussed right now. Here it comes. And so this is from the Howard Stern show. Apparently, Kim Kardashian on the latest episode, and you're going to hear Howard Stern and Kim Kardashian in a minute, said some things about Howard Stern. And Howard Stern replied. And so I'm just going to play that for y'all. Here you go.
This episode of the Kim Kardashian show, she accused me of saying that she faked her Paris robbery attempt, and she's very emotional about it.
Howard Stern was like, famously mocking it all the time and saying that it was just, I'm sick and it's such a joke and I made it all up. I remember he was so defiant about it.
Fortunately, anyway, in this case, our show is taped. So we went back, looked up what I said, and nothing could be further from the truth. If this woman was robbed at gunpoint by a bunch of dudes and they threw her in a bathtub and tied her up or whatever they did, I mean, that is that is frightening. If it is a farce, then really they should go to jail for that.
Well, I don't think it is, but you know what?
Either.
There were no security cameras in the area, so there's no footage of what went on.
So one time the Kardashians don't have a camera, something interesting.
Yeah, it's something really going on, something real.
If anything, I would say, now tell me if I'm wrong, I would characterize that discussion as a very fair assessment that some people are saying it's fake, which was true. And we said, we don't think it's fake. We think that she went through something horrible. Some guys came into her room and threw her in a bathtub and pointed a gun at her. And I said, that's really frightening. What this woman was told.
There was no attack.
By the way, let me say something. I have said so many awful things in my career. You don't need to make up stuff. You don't. Certainly find every awful thing I've said. It's no secret.
All right. There it is. So Kim Kardashian says Howard Stern famously, let's go back to her words, famously made fun of her.
Episode of the Kim Kardashian of saying that she faked her Paris.
I just want to run it back.
And she's very emotional about it.
Howard Stern was like famously mocking it all the time.
Famously mocking it all the time. All the time. Famously mocking it all the time. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. This I do have an opinion on. Okay? There's a group of people on the internet that want to straight up lie. Straight up lie. There's a group of people in this society who are famous. I'm not going to say all the names, but there's a group of people who want to straight up tell y'all lies every time they get a chance. They want to lie to the public because they feel they have enough popularity and enough of a following that they could just say lies. They could just say crazy shit like, hey, did you know Wolverine is a real person? No, he's a real guy. He's a real person. Did you know that? Did you know Wolverine is a real guy? No, not Hugh Jackman. Wolverine from the X-Men comics with the healing factor and the adamantium claws is a real guy. They just want to say lies. Bald-faced lies that don't make any fucking sense. And here's the problem. Today, more and more things are being recorded. Today, more and more things are being documented. So when you lie and say, hey man, JD always did a podcast on a blue couch. His couch in his home was always blue. Well, then we could just go back and check all the footage and find if that's true or not. Was there a gray couch? Was there a blue couch? When did the brown couch show up? We could go back and check all of these things if they're documented. And Howard Stern did. And Howard Stern has those files and has a staff and was like, hey man, go find what I said. And they found it and proved that she's a liar, which is what happens. Because when you lie and there's proof, people will find the proof. The sad part is that as legendary and as iconic as Howard Stern is, his following is not as big today as Kim Kardashian, which means there are people, bozos, who are going to just believe what Kim Kardashian says and take it at face value, which you should never do. You should never do. You should never take anything anyone says at face value, which is why I come up here and I play the footage and I quote people and I read the articles and tell you where it's from, because you should know where these things come from. You should know what the truth is. But today, people are not interested in the truth or authenticity. They're interested in spreading lies and painting narratives, something that the Kardashians do very well. And she's not the only one. That family's not the only one. There are a group of people who enjoy doing this. They like to take narratives, paint them, and spread them. That's what they do. They take the narrative, they start it, and then they spread it, and they allow their fans to run with it. When you have a hive, quote unquote, a big fan base, this is easy to do. You could say anything. You could say farts are magic. And people be like, oh my God, did you know farts are magic? This is crazy. Oh my God. But Kim said it. Kim said it. It must be true. Oprah said it. It gotta be true if Oprah said it. It doesn't. And yes, thank you, Howard Stern, for finding the files and showing us the truth, because motherfuckers be lying like there's no way to prove them wrong. Like there's no documentation or footage that exists. But there is documentation and footage that exists. Okay? Furthermore, yeah, why would you say Howard Stern of all people? Like, Howard Stern has been doing a radio show, a podcast, a video show for eons. I was a teenager and my dad was watching video footage of Howard Stern on TV and his show. I'm 38. We talking more than 20 years ago. That's who you want to talk about? That's who you want to blame? The guy who's been recording the wild shit he's been saying for eons? Come on, dog. That was dumb. That was not a wise choice. And yes, Howard Stern has said foul, wild, crazy shit that I don't agree with too. But the problem is, you made it up. Like he said, you don't got to make it up. It's out there. You could go find it. What you should have done was had your team go find all of the footage of him saying things. And if it was wrong, which clearly it's not, then you could have put it in your show, even with a snippet of it being said, because you got what they call free content rights or free content usage, free usage rights, whatever the fuck it's called, right? But you didn't even do that. Shame on Kim Kardashian. Shame on the people who are out here spreading lies. Props to the living legend, Howard Stern, a fucking icon. And thank you, Howard Stern, for pulling the files on these motherfuckers and for being a real, authentic motherfucker yourself. I appreciate you. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Weeknights. I will see you tomorrow.